Welcome back to the Self-Represented Litigant Society's Legal Terms series. And today we will be discussing legal terms that begin with the letter G. To garnish is to bring a garnishment proceeding, or to attach wages or other property to such a proceeding. I'll get more into this into the next word. Garnishee is a person who receives notice to retain assets of another person until further notice. The garnishee merely holds the assets until a proceeding determines who is entitled to the assets. So the garnishee is not the defendant or the plaintiff. They are the person that has the assets of the, most likely in most circumstances, will be the defendant. And this could be an employer, or this could be somebody that holds assets for the defendant, such as a bank. Garnishment is a process where money or goods in the hands of a third person, again, that third party that is not related to the case at all, that are owed to a defendant are attached by a plaintiff. The garnishee is warned not to pay over the property to anyone except the plaintiff. In some circumstances, this could mean, though, that the employer in the defendant's case is to pay over a specific amount and not necessarily the full amount. For instance, you can garnish maybe 35% of somebody's wages in some provinces. A gift is a gratuitous, voluntary transfer of property from owner to another person. To be valid, the gift must be fully completed, as the court will not compel a donor to perfect the gift where the intention is unfulfilled. Take a look at the case of McIntyre versus Royal Trust Company, 1945, and that will shed some light onto what a gift is in the law. There are two forms of gifts. There is inter vivos or mortis causa. Now, my Latin is not very good, but essentially those are spelled out on screen there for you, and I'm going to go into those right now. An inter vivos gift is a transfer of property from the owner to another person with the full intent that the thing given shall not be returned, but retained by the donee as their own. See McIntyre versus Royal Trust Company, 1945, for further reference on this subject matter. A mortis causa gift is a gift made in contemplation of impending death. Besides being in contemplation and not the expectation of death, the donor must die while suffering from the condition that prompted the contemplation of the death in the first place. Take a look at Thompson versus Meehan, 1958, for a breakdown on this or further reference. Good faith is a standard implying the absence of intent to take advantage or defraud another party. To act openly, fairly, and honestly. In other words, it is bona fide. Now that is the Latin name, I believe. Bona fide equals good faith. On the other end of the spectrum, the absence of malified or bad faith. Malified is bad faith, and bona fide is good faith. A grand jury is a body of persons assembled with no prior knowledge of an alleged crime, sitting to decide whether facts and accusations presented by the prosecuting attorney warrant an indictment. Called a grand jury because of the large number of jurors, traditionally 23, compared to a petite jury, which is usually 12. And in some civil circumstances, in Canada, you'll see juries as low as 6 persons. And in different jurisdictions, you will find, obviously, varying numbers. And what is good to note that pretty much there is no such thing as a grand jury anymore in Canada. It was abolished, and it may be still in use in some eastern provinces. I believe Nova Scotia, perhaps, although I'm not positive, and you will find it more so in the United States. A gratuitous promise is a promise where a person states intent to do or refrain from doing something without consideration in return. Consideration being the exchange of some sort of value in return for doing that. So basically a promise that is one-sided, essentially. A grievance is an allegation that something imposes an illegal obligation or burden, or denies some equitable or legal right, or causes injustice. Commonly used to describe a complaint by employer or employee that a term of a collective agreement is being breached. Grounds are the relevant, rational, and connected reasons why an order should be made. This is usually a term found in the paperwork of preparing for a motion. You'll see what are the motions, or what are the grounds for the motion. This is the connection or the basis in law as to why the relief should be granted. It can also be referring to the personal characteristics that are the basis for discrimination. A guarantee is to agree to be responsible for the debt, default, or miscarriage of another. This also could be in relation to a product or service. A guardian can be a person appointed to take care of another person, their affairs, and or their property. It's also a person who has the control or the custody of a child and has a legal duty to provide the necessities of life for that child. Guilty means having been found to have committed the crime which a person was charged with. It also could refer to the actual plea that someone who is accused of an offense, their plea is called a guilty plea, and there's some distinction, I guess, between the two uses of the word. But essentially, if somebody is guilty, it's good to note. If somebody is found to be guilty of an offense, that doesn't mean they will be convicted of an offense. Thank you for watching. I am Jason with the Self-Represented Litigant Society. Go become a free website member at irepmyself.com, where you can get lots more great free information just like this video, found in video or documentation form on the website there. And all you have to do is punch in your email address and create a password, and you are in and signed up for the monthly newsletter, which gets sent out with a lot more great free information that you can't find here on this YouTube channel or on the website. If you have questions, comments, please post them below, and stay tuned for more in this great series. Also, a reminder that this series will be printed in PDF form, or I should say available in PDF form to be printed on our website for our free website members. So, yet another reason to become a free website member of irepmyself.com.